Are you interested in building a career in the development and humanitarian sector? Then, Strategia Netherlands is the best option for you. We offer training solutions to the United Nations, governments, NGOs and other development organizations worldwide. Make your online application now for Diploma in Monitoring and Evaluation, Diploma in Grants Management, Diploma in Conflict Management, Diploma in Disaster Management, Diploma in Water Sanitation and Hygiene, and many more. The cost for diploma courses is 800 euros while postgraduate courses cost 1,200 euros. Visit www.strategianetherlands.nl for more information.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Happy to see you. It's a good chilly morning in Nairobi. I don't know where you're joining us from, but I want to welcome you all. I can see you. Greetings from Afghanistan, Azizullah. Please say hi. Greetings from Nigeria, Adamu Idris. You can say hello. You're welcome. You can just unmute and say hi if you can hear me. I can see you. I can see you all. Monica from Indonesia, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hi, everyone.
I'm from South Sudan.
I'm from Nairobi, Kenya.
Good, good.
Hello, I'm
Mary,
from Nepal.
welcome from Nairobi. From Nepal, welcome, welcome. Mike from Zimbabwe, welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Jyoti from Tanzania.
All right, nice to see you all. All right, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Now, keep the chat on going, keep the conversation there. Let me see where you're joining us from. I want to welcome you in a special way to this webinar where we'll be talking about successful fundraising tips for NGOs. So you are so much welcome. Be ready to learn a lot. Our presenter is very knowledgeable in this area, and so he will be sharing with us in a few minutes. Right now, I would want to ask you a few questions, and I'll be sending the code to Mentimeter in the chat, and then you can join. 58. You can join so that I ask you a few questions. That's the code. Yes, Charles, welcome from Tanzania. You're welcome. I want to ask you a few questions. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. What's the first word that comes to you when you hear the word fundraising? I want to see your responses. You can join and let me see your responses.
Respond through the links or through the chat.
Okay, let me send the link through the chat. Okay, just a minute. I don't want us to take a lot of time here. You can join. Otherwise, if you're not able to join the Mentimeter, please use the chat. I can see money, creativity, good. I have sent the code already. Struggle. Okay, I'm seeing proposal writing challenge from the Mentimeter, all right? Let me see. Okay, I'm seeing concept, proposal writing challenge. Let me see what your responses are. When you think of fundraising, what comes to your mind? Are you able to join? That is the code 55810. We don't want to take a lot of time here. I can only see 2 people are online. Okay, let me see what is happening in the chat. Partnership, understanding donor requirements. Okay, campaign for collecting money for humanitarian purposes. Voting. Fundraising is the ability to raise funds. Okay. Right. Understanding donor requirement. Okay, I can see your request. I can see your responses. Let's go to the next question. Sorry. So, just a minute. Next question is, yeah?
Yeah, boy.
All right. Let's go to the next question. The next question is, if your NGO, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. If your NGO received an unexpected $1 million US donation today, what's the first thing you would fund? We can go to the Mentimeter again. I'll be sharing my screen just now. If your NGO receives an unexpected 1 million USD today, what's the first thing you will fund? Let me see. Unfortunately, there are only 3 people in the Mentimeter. Let me now, program expansion. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Development intervention. So the options are program expansion, staff capacity building, new technology, and community outreach. I want to see what will your focus be. Program expansion, program expansion, community outreach, and staff capacity building. We only have one option. Infrastructure development. I can see we have different opinions on what will be our priority. Okay, I can see the moment program expansion is taking the lead with 2 people having voted there. Okay, but from the chat, I'm seeing a lot of community outreach. I'm seeing a lot of staff capacity building and all that. All right, let's go to the next question. Which country, according to you, leads in private donations, i.e. the world's most generous country? I'm really waiting to hear your answers on this. According to you, which is the most generous country? The country that leads in private donations? USA, Switzerland, UAE. Let me just choose this. India. Okay. USA, UK. All right. So, according to, you will be shocked if I tell you this, according to the Charities Aid Foundation's World Giving Index 2024, the world's most generous country based on people's charitable behavior, including donating money, is Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia, and it has ranked #1 for the last 7 years in a row. Indonesia it is. Wow, yeah, I can see people are shocked. People thought it was America. All right, so I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, you can do more research on this. I know people are shocked. It's Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia is leading. It has been leading for the last 7 years. So my name is Charlotte Mwambui. I am a trainer, humanitarian officer, and I love this topic because it is close to my heart. I have seen organizations, especially this year, many people were laid off because of lack of funding when it was stopped. So we have seen NGOs face funding challenges worsened by USAID and USG cuts. Yeah, people have lost their jobs. So today we are going to raise practical fundraising skills and strategies that are going to help NGOs have skills and strategies and opportunities to boost organizational capacity, leveraging on 500 billion private donations. So welcome everyone to this webinar. And without further ado, I would like to invite our facilitator, who is Wycliffe. I'm sure you had gone through the poster and you have seen he's called Wycliffe, and he is helping NGOs secure sustainable funding. Okay, he's a grants writing and fundraising expert. He's a policy and project management specialist, and he's an inspirational trainer and change leader. You have seen him in social media, you have seen him on the television if you're in Kenya, and this is your opportunity to hear him as he gives us these tips and skills to be able to know how to fundraise in the right way. So, Wycliffe, welcome.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And I want to thank everyone for coming up this morning. I don't know whether it's morning, wherever you guys are watching from, but it's a wonderful moment to engage you this morning in this training. This is something I'm very passionate about, maybe more than Charlene herself, because Charlotte, the problem is that most of the people we handle used to misunderstand that fundraising is a very linear process. So when things came about, now many of them were now affected, and now the crisis we have, yet the sector has not changed. So please confirm you hear me first. Right. Thank you so much.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. So my name is Wycliffe Nyafwanga. I will pull up the slide and then we will go through them methodically and procedurally. And if you have any question at any point in time, you are free to ask them so that we can make the training as very practical and as interactive as possible. So once again, thank you so much for joining. I will pull the slide, then we can proceed from there. Right. Right, thank you. Once again, let me minimize this. We are good to go. We are going to deal with what is called successful fundraising tips that attracts the donor. And my name is Wycliffe Nyafwanga. My undergrad was in public policy and administration, and the focus area on how the interaction between the government and the nonprofit and how the government can actually leverage the potential in the nonprofit to amplify the change. And my master's was management and organizational development. And interestingly, my focus area was also on a research on leadership capacity and organizational sustainability. And organizational sustainability has got very many derivatives: financial sustainability, operational sustainability. So I looked at the whole spectrum of sustainability, and my PhD is project planning and management. And we are trying to see how organizations in informal settlement can be optimized so that they can achieve what is called value for investment and outcome. So it is a pleasure. I am a lecturer, I'm an author, and a mentor, a trainer, and all that which have been in the field for some time. I've been in this area for around 17 years. For those who have joined, so at least I know one or two things that we can share together. Having said that, I've divided my presentation today into 6 categories, which is just the introduction, and then the understanding the fundraising dynamics, And then now we go to the specific fundraising tips. And we thought it wise that we don't just give the tips, but now we go forward and tell you the strategies you can adopt to make an NGO fundable. And then we will look at a table called personal fundraising plan. The idea here is that after the end of this training, where is the way forward? Are you able to move from one step to the other? And then we will go to conclusion. I always ask this question, and the answer or the responses I get are always varied. I ask people who want funds or resources that if you had resources, would you fund the programs for which you are seeking funds? And people are really shocked because many people are shocked that no, I cannot put my money here. So that is a question that I want you to reflect deeply as we go across this. Do you need money for money? Or do you need money to change the community? This question is also an ethical question because the moment you go into the nonprofit sector, you are supposed to manage it professionally, but you're also supposed to put your best foot forward. And we do what we call you put the money where your mouth is, to mean that what you're doing should be so much practical that you can individually invest your resources to achieve change. If the answer here is no, then you have not found a passion, you have not identified the exact thing that you want to change. So that is why we will delve in what is called organizational value system, programmatic priorities, and bringing about the change in the community. So the question I wanted to reflect on is this wonderful one. If you had money, because the reason why you came here, I believe there is things that you see in the community that you want to change. And because of that, you want resources to change them. So the question is, if you are a multi-billionaire today, or you not even multi-billionaire, you had resources, would you fund the program for which you are seeking? You're seeking funds. Now, I will go do introduction very fast. It is interesting that there is no shortage of donors in the world. Never shortage of donors. A report that was done in 2023 by the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, which is in Indiana, United States, they have reported that in the last 1 year alone, charities or people in the United States alone, not even Indonesia, United States alone, gave $500 billion to charities. $500 billion. And Lilly's Family School of Philanthropy is one of the biggest institutions of philanthropy in the United States. So I just wanted to reflect on that. Over 500 billion. In fact, the report is over 550 billion US dollar. Now, the amount I'm talking about exclude the giving that came from foundations such as the Gates Foundation, the Zuckerberg Foundation, and all other foundations that are giving billions of dollars annually. So, and apart from that, I'm still talking of the United States only, we also have a significant number of individuals that give what is called unrecorded giving outside the official channels of giving. That tells you that the amount of giving runs into hundreds and hundreds of billions. We were doing a study in the European Union. The European Union also has a giving gap, which is more than 1 trillion US dollars. That is, I'm talking about 1 year. I'm not talking about 2 or 3 years. I'm talking about 1 year only. So these are areas that should prick your conscience, especially when you're saying that, do we have money to implement a program? Look at them critically and start thinking that if this is happening in the US and this is happening in the European Union, do we have programs in Africa, in Asia, in all that? And it is working wonderfully. I will explain this. I'm just giving an introduction. In India alone, the government of India requires that 10% of the profit goes into charities. So I want you to imagine that. 10% goes to charity. If 10% goes to charity, then you can just go ahead and calculate the amount of interest for private companies in India and look at how that amount of money, 10% of it, is how much. So that is what I want to reflect on. Finally, this shows that there is no shortage of charitable giving. There is no shortage of charitable giving. Let me put the next. Let us continue. These givings also exclude new entrants in the Arab world, where significant giving takes place, like the Qatari Foundation. Islamic Development Bank. Currently, we are doing a project with the Islamic Development Bank, and we're expecting in excess of $500,000 US for a project. But also involved in a donation by the Qatari Foundation. So I just wanted to think about that. While we are still looking at the US and USAID, there are a lot of resources that are coming from the Middle East. Apart from that, there are resources that are coming from government vehicles. Government vehicles are what is called institutions that are run by the government. I did a research for those who follow me on LinkedIn, and I listed of them. There are over 90 government vehicles. Swedish government has SIDA, UK, CDC, not CDC, FCDC. Every government has got a vehicle, especially for European government. And our research also shows that their investment is at least $750 billion US. And then there are individual foundations like the Zuckerberg Foundation. Then there is also the what is called a Limulu Foundation. That is for people in Africa are familiar with Tony Limulu and how he has participated in addressing the problems that affect the community. Then there is the corporate social responsibility, which is a law in every country. If you go to any company, there is money there in that company which is supposed to be set aside for the community under what is called governance strategies, accountability, sustainability, and reliability. So technically, before we go into presentation, there is no shortage of funding. So where may have been a problem, strategies, and we will show them. Now, before we go to the training, let us look at the changes in the funding dynamics, because this is what has really happened in the recent past, which has brought a lot of complaint and a lot of concern. And the question is that how have these changes in the funding dynamics affected you? When the US government made a cut, our organization lost at least 3 projects. And many people ran out of jobs because the US government had provided what is called a blanket funding. You don't need to do so much. They will just fund you. So they also narrowed down the capacity of people to think. So what are these dynamics? I will begin. Changes in the funding dynamics. Since January 2025, charities have been affected by US government stop work order. And this affected not just USAID funded programs, but the whole of US government funded programs. And given the immense foothold of USG funding, the gap has been felt. It has made many NGOs to see the failure and shrinking. But on the contrary, this have also created a lot of opportunities. Although the policy revival in America, the change in the foreign policy also affected other European countries. You could look at the UK, Norway, and how they wanted to change what is called the grant management system. Yet the US government cuts also exposed what I call the soft underbelly of most organizations' funding approaches. We used to train people before. Can we diversify your funding? They were not interested because the US government was there for them. Now, this has also exposed poor fundraising strategy by many organizations which had got over-reliance on one source of grants. We also have existing opportunities which our team and many people have leveraged, and this is what I want to present to you. The strategies we will outlay here are supposed to trigger your thought and provide the mindset which is supposed to expand you with a lot of opportunities. Now, given that fundraising is linear and many donors are not averse to giving, a lot of opportunity exists. And then for you to get funding, note this: number one, there must be an evidence of gap. There must be an evidence of past outcomes, and there must be an evidence of future result. We call it 3D. And many of you who know how to write proposal, you know that whenever you're writing proposal to donors, you don't tell the donors that we will do this. You tell the donor that we have achieved this. When you give us money, we will be scaling or building on the result. That is what we call result-based management framework. Now, I want to pause there and make a statement that I also want you to note down. All the things we are going to talk about here, successful fundraising will nurture donor relationship. So the question will be, how do we nurture donor relationship? How do you build a relationship between you and the donor? And I'm going to avoid the issue of writing proposal because our research shows that the probability of getting funding by writing a proposal is less than 20%. Where is the evidence? 3 weeks ago, I was in a panel for reviewing proposal. We wanted 50 proposals. We received 750. So you can imagine the kind of work we had to go through. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Very good.
we can.
Oh,
Yes,
there was a
we
shift
can.
in power changes, so there was a backup. Thank you so much. So successful fundraising must nurture donor relationship. You must build your relationship with the donor from the beginning to the end. That is why we say that successful fundraising must nurture. So how do we nurture? Here are the strategies. Successful fundraising trips. What is the strategy? Overcoming challenges through linear and scientifically proven processes. Now, before you start looking for funds, there is something that people overlook that is called value alignment. Value alignment. I always like explaining this before I read the slide. We are doing what is called a project called domestication of democracy in one of the Horn of Africa countries. And we were approaching an organization most of you are familiar with called GIZ. So what did I do as a consultant? What I did is that I did a research. Does GIZ, what is called number one, donor mapping? Donor mapping is identification of donors that can fund my programs. So I identified GIZ, identified SIDA from the Swedish government, about 5 organizations. So what I did is that I aligned our values, I did research and aligned the values under democracy and participatory inclusivity in designing my project. And that is why we named it Domestication of Democracy in, I'm not going to mention the country. So number one is called donors fund values, not programs. Donors fund values. So if you can project that value quite well, then you are good to go. I know I will talk about something called branding, but if you tell me our organization is called Tanzania Women Development Network, what comes into my mind? What is Tanzania Women Development Network known for? What are our values? Those values will anchor your programmatic priority and programmatic success. So number one, value alignment. Donors fund values, not programs. And that is why if you are a researcher, you realize that you can be doing a very wonderful programs in your community. That another donor comes in the community, then they get funds very fast and you don't get funds. You wonder what has changed because of that value. So that value looks at your objective, look at your mission. Have you aligned them properly? This will come out as we go. NGOs must first align their values with those of the donor. So how did we align our values with GIZ? We aligned our values with those of the GIZ by ensuring that we link up democracy, participation, including of women, inclusivity, and rights-based approach to governance. We know that those 5 areas will cover the GIZ. So we say that our organization ABCD is underpinned by the following values: participatory, governance, gender inclusivity, inclusivity of the marginalized, and credibility in what is called universal suffrage, which is called the electoral process. Then we went into the research and we determined the gaps in the community. And then after you do that, before I forget, I need to write this down. Once you identify value, you approach the donor. You don't wait for the donor. You book an appointment, concept note, you approach the donor. I'm going ahead of myself, but this will require that you read the strategic objective of the donor, their goal, thematic areas, and what they fund. When we train people, you meet them, say, where do you get money from? I want to get money from FCDC from the UK. Now, you tell them what is the value of FCDC. They don't know. What do they fund? What did they fund last? For example, what is the value proposition of GIZ or SIDA? That is the question we ask. And if I were to seek grant from these 2 organizations, I will identify their values and align with our organization's value and programs. Sometimes you can use what is called AI to understand the values, not write a proposal. Just use AI and tell AI, please analyze for me the funding values of UNICEF, the funding values of Ford Foundation, those funding values, you align with your own and yourself. For example, again, this underrated idea of value is the reason why many organizations have failed, because when we are reviewing proposals for organizational concept note, you read the first 4 lines. Those first 4 lines should be able to communicate their value. If their value is not clear, not aligned, not articulative, drop the proposal, because we have other 600 proposals waiting for you to review. That is tip number 1, value alignment. Tip number 2, change documentation. And I'm a good storyteller. We wanted money for an organization that was working in one of the Horn of Africa country, or let me just mention in Somalia. So, and then we wanted to use what is called change documentation as a strategy. What did I do? We went into a town, one of the towns affected by climate change. It is like a desert, like the picture on the left of your screen. This is just, I generated the picture, but because I did not want the issue of mentioning the town and giving you the idea. So we went to a town like that one you see there. And we went in the local administration. We asked them to give us authority to plant trees along the roads. We call them thoroughfares. We went into recreational park. We went into a small river, the river that is cutting across the town. So what we did is that we took the first pictures on the left. Then we began planting trees, just low budget, along the main thoroughfares.
We have lost
As
you.
we were taking, sorry,
Okay,
I can hear you. You
You're okay
lost
now.
me? All right, okay, sorry for that. You always let me know when you lost me. Now, when we went in that town, we planted the trees the way I've explained. We went to the parks, we cleaned it, we put the benches, we planted trees along the thoroughfares. Remember, every 3 months we were taking pictures as the change was happening. Very soon, the town turned not exactly the picture on the right, but you could see the beauty on the town. I was there when the European Union government saw what was happening and found out who was doing that. We were invited, that was over 10 years ago, 9. We were invited into what is called, if you remember the Grand Bargain in Turkey, the meeting that was held in 2016. We went with the picture, we did a presentation, and we secured what is called around 1.2 million euros for a 3-year project. So what did we do? This is what is called change documentation. We used it to prepare and present presentation in more than 3 donors, and we got millions of euros from that, because that is what we were doing. It is a strategy called change documentation. So what is change documentation? It is sharing with the donor how your NGO has transformed the community. Using digital tools, an organization can communicate the impact of their programs in the community. It begins with the current status, then the end result, and inviting the donor to be part of the process of change or the success. No donor who wants to see success will say no to that. Those pictures are there and they are really transformative. Not even the donor outside. We got small grants here and there from the local organizations as they were now partnering with us to plant trees, give it to the community. So that is what is called change documentation. I want you to think, as I continue the presentation, that what do we do and how can we leverage change documentation? And the change documentation alone can give you the resources you need. This one will nurture and attract the donor. Now, the next tip is research and dissemination. And as I always say, we teach what we have practiced. Sometimes, several years ago, I met with somebody from State Department in the United States. And this guy told me how to raise funds, which really shocked me. And it is called research and dissemination. He told us that, from the State Department in the US, we always want to know what is happening in the Horn of Africa. So he gave me an email, different emails. He told me that if your organization is doing research, maybe every 2 months or quarterly, please share the research findings with us through the following emails. So we will do low budget research of the conflict in the region, of women, human rights abuse, and we will share with them. After about less than a year, we were invited to Washington to go and present one presentation they really loved on how that was the nexus between climate change, poverty, and women human rights abuse. So we did this presentation, and from that presentation, we made the right connection, and we got a very good project. So what is research? Many donors want to know what is happening in their specific field of operation. E.g., a child rights organization will wish to know how different rights abuse take place in the urban slums. A human rights organization operating in slum can do periodic research and disseminate findings to identified donors organizations. This can be done to individual donor offices, and the end result is building mutual relationship. I want to emphasize this because this is something I've done and it's working. Suppose you're working in a slum, in informal settlement. In the US, they call it the inner cities, still the same thing. And your focus is the right of girl child. You've done a research and you realize that most girls are involved in prostitution because of poverty and all that stuff. You've done a very professional research, maybe literature review, a qualitative approach. You've written methodologies and your findings. I want you to go online, look for at least 10 or 20 donors. Share the research findings with them, donors related to the right of girls. Share these findings with them. After you do it, share findings with them. Or you can do it another way. You can just call organizations and tell them that my name is so-and-so. We have done a research about the abuse of the right of girls. I want us to present it with you. You go to the office, you present those findings, they ask questions, you answer. I have a question for you right now. Suppose you do that. I am a donor. We deal with the children in slum, and you do that kind of disseminating research to us. Suppose I need somebody to work with you to improve the rights of girls in the slum. Whom do I go to? I come to you. Suppose we are releasing some findings and we need stakeholders in the right of girls. Where do I go to? I come to you. So as long as you're an organization, you are supposed to be an authority in that sector. Please do research, look for 20 organizations, 30. Always share these findings. Somebody will call you, you will do presentation, you will engage in a meaningful relationship. For example, the one I'm telling you they did in Nairobi, once we did that research in one of the big slums in Nairobi, we got funding from one of the donors to expand that research to all slums in Nairobi. And then we also went to other urban centers. So you see how research and dissemination is a powerful tool. In fact, if you can leverage research and dissemination and change documentation, you are good to go. Now, there is what is called result-based reporting, not just reporting, result-based engaging of the donor. If you were to talk to me in 1 minute, let's say we are meeting in Geneva, Switzerland for a workshop, or Ethiopia, AU, or we are meeting in New York, and you are an organization, there is something we call result-based communication. What is result-based communication? It is a methodology that focuses on what you have achieved, not what you are doing. Let me give an example. Suppose I am running an organization. I'm meeting you. You are the donor. You are now no longer a student. You are the donor. So this is how I will talk to you. My name is Wycliffe Nyafwanga, and I run an organization called ABC in Tanzania. We empower sexual gender-based violence survivors economically, giving them tools and resources. That is the first information. The next is result now. In the last 3 years, we have improved the household income of 3,500 women through different IGAs. IGAs is income generating activities. We operate in informal settlement within Nairobi town, and our vision is to end SGBV and empower vulnerable women living in slum. We target 10,000 women in the next 3 years. What I've communicated is a result-based approach. We can fine-tune it, I know that. But if I was to talk to somebody, I can memorize this, where we are, what we do, what we've achieved. So somebody will be shocked. You've already equipped 3,500 years, and you have a target 10,000 years. So we can partner. This is what is called a result-based reporting. I want from today going forward, don't communicate what you do. Communicate what you've achieved. Don't tell me that my name is so-and-so. We run an organization in India called Women Empowerment. Our work is to train women. We give them funds. We improve their capacity. We mentor them. I don't need what you do. We need what you have achieved. Then I will ask you, how did you achieve it? And I will fund your process of achieving it. Now, I combine that tip with the tip of evidence and scaling. Even before I go, this is what is under networking. I want to also notice that's under networking or email. Whenever you're sending an email to a donor, don't say what you do. Say the result you've achieved, the gap, the plan, and invite them to be part of the process. Whether it is an email, whether you're doing a pitching, there's a pitching presentation we will develop, we can share with you if you want. There is a pitching presentation, there is an email, or there is a verbal. Your name, what you do, what you've achieved, where you want to go, and the gap. Your name, what you do, what you've achieved, where you want to go, and the gap. Result-based management framework. Now, combine it with evidence and scaling. The statement that we speak of now, as of today, donors don't fund the work. Donors fund what works. I've utilized them. Donors don't need to scale the work. We don't need to scale training women. We need to scale women economic empowerment, if that is what works. In the previous slide, we have focused on the evidence for our project. Look at it. This has provided a vision of reaching additional 10,000 with our women empowerment program. Notice that we did not report what we do, but we have reported what we've achieved and our fresh target. When you read what is called, if I'm reading a proposal, when you read what is called the introduction part of the proposal or project description, you are shocked because people tell you what they do, and I don't have time for that. No review has time for that, but approach it from result-based management framework. This approach immediately attracts the donor who will want to know how you get involved. Wait a minute. You have empowered 3,000 women as GBV survivors. Yes. How? Economic empowerment, mentorship. Oh, wow. Where? In the slums or informal settlement. Now, what can we do? It is a flow of a thought which is sustainable. Now, the next thing is what I call visibility and branding. I have generated, these are our partners, so forget the name. I have generated 2 email signatures. I want to look at those 2 email signatures. The one for signature I generated, I just created one. My name is Wycliffe Nyafuanga. I've written I'm executive director of Intersoc, something like that, or empowerment, capacity empowerment. I was using this PO box. Look at the one on the left. Look at the lady, her name, and how she has structured visibility and branding. When you see this kind of email signature, what comes into your mind? What comes in your mind is some level of branding, because this one, if you see, they are saying that they are 33 years of serving humanity. And if you're a donor and I was sending you a proposal document and you see 33 years of serving people, you will be like, look, wait a minute. This guy is a professional. But this other guy, Wycliffe, blah, 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 blah. So I was using that as an example of visibility and branding. And I'm 100% sure your mindset as a human being is a little bit being shifted to the signature of that lady, because she appeared to have communicated brand. When you hear of UNICEF, what comes into your mind? When you hear of Zuckerberg Foundation, the Gates Foundation, when you hear Plan International, when you hear Oxfam, I have worked in most of these international organizations, and I've also worked in local organizations. Sometimes local organizations are doing better work than them. In fact, most of the time. But then the local organizations don't know how to do visibility and branding. Now they appear as if they are doing very little. What is visibility? Do you notice any difference in the email signature of the above 2 individuals? One appears to be plain and generic, while the other already communicates result. You saw the 33 years. They're already communicating result. Therefore, branding and visibility means that people should recognize authenticity, originality, and the credibility of your organization the moment they come into contact with you. They should be able to judge. This includes professional documents, clarity in communication, and very clear outcome. I've given a proposal, but I can make a mention here. I tell people that when you are writing technical proposal, you know, a narrative proposal, when you are writing that proposal, after you finish the narrative and it is approved, give it somebody to do it branding. Color and aesthetic still works. Some people just look at the way you presented your proposal and the structure and the outline, and they're like, wow. Visibility and branding. Do you, what is your digital footprints? I've included it under recommendation. I will show you. Do you have presence in the LinkedIn? Now, let me give you a straight away response. For many of you, I don't know whether you know UEFA Foundation. UEFA Foundation comes from the European League football competition called UEFA. If you are applying, you must give them the link for Facebook, LinkedIn, X, which was Twitter, and Facebook, as well as Instagram. They want to check that those are visibility and branding. Don't overlook them, please. Visibility should, in various forms, provide clear communication, how you communicate with other, email signature, project documents. Whenever you're writing any document to anybody, you must include professionalism and branding. Whenever you're doing proposal application, I've explained that it must be visible in your letterhead. It must be visible in your website. And there is no shortcut. If you do this, you project yourself as a professional organization. Another what we call key tip, when we are reviewing proposals for organizations, there is a part nobody tells you, but we are keen on. In this proposal that somebody, just Charlotte is proposing, is there evidence of community consultation? Is there evidence of stakeholders' involvement? If we cannot identify that in any project, throw it away. Why? Because NGOs address community problems, not their own problems. As such, communities must be at the center of their programs. And therefore, evidence of community consultation is important because it shows participatory approach. If you have ever worked with FAO, FAO has got something, CAPS, C-A-P-S, community action plans. Before they give you funds, you must show them community action plan. What is that? You must show them community prioritization of gaps, and you must also show them the participation report. Why? Because it provides the evidence of localization. After the grant bargain, at least 20% or 30% of the grant should go to the community, and the community participation must be present. It's also an ingredient of sustainability. Stakeholders consultation ensures scaling and avoiding overlaps. I have seen this in the humanitarian field, where somebody comes to build a home into a place where there is already homes, because they did not talk to other stakeholders who already built homes. Community consultation is important. I'll give you an example. We are running out of time, but I will give you an example. We were doing a project in Somalia one time, and we were building what is called shelter under CCM, Camp Coordination, Camp Management. So somebody just came, not us, somebody just came and built shelter. And because it is very hot, so there's a way in which you're supposed to structure shelter. They did not consult the community. After they were done, nobody entered those houses because they were very hot. They were made of iron sheet. Why? Because they overlooked community consultation. Now, having said that, what therefore should we do to improve on the gaps that we've identified? What do I expect you to do so that we can move from theory to practice? Now, these are the action steps I need you to do. Number one, I need you to go and review your strategic pillars. An organization is as important as its strategic pillars. Make your mission clear and concise. These areas appear very, very, very negligible, but from somebody who has approved organization for funds, check them very well. Make your mission as clear as possible. Let your mission be something that is, mission cannot be smart, but make it be as concise as possible. Economic empowerment of women. What is your vision? To end poverty or gender-based violence in community X. Because now your mission should help you achieve your end goal. And the objective of your program should be smart and provide specific deliverables. Now, for people who are starting organizations, I know many of you are starting new. This is what we tell you. Don't provide 5 or 7 thematic areas. You train people, they tell you, we empower women, we do wash, we do nutrition, we do health, we also do what is called, we do also what's called agriculture empowerment, we do livelihood empowerment. No. You cannot do that as a new organization. Be very specific. Economic empowerment of the women, or livelihood improvement, or climate change mitigation. Be specific and identify thematic areas, maybe 3, 4, maximum 5. In fact, go with the 4. Those are the thematic areas. So any program you design must fall within those 4 thematic areas, and communicate this in your profile, website, social media handles, during meetings, and wherever you go. They should be communicated clearly. So I want you to go and review your strategic pillars and ensure that they communicate. Nobody will find you with a vague, incoherent strategic pillar. Number 2, I want you to go and develop and adapt fundraising strategy or plan. Many organizations do not have fundraising plan with an implementation plan. Implementation plan, if you have ever seen a strategic plan, there is what is called strategic plan, then there are strategic pillars. Then each pillar you need to implement. So I want you to go and review your fundraising plan, ensure that each and every fundraising pillar, which is a strategic fundraising pillar, is achievable. Without this, you are flying blind. We cannot just say that we are empower women. If I have a strategic plan for the people we are working with, where do we want to get money? Who is going to be responsible? What are the specific activities? What is the timeline? What are the means of verification? And what is the performance indicator? They are down there. What is the strategic action? What is the PI? What are the means of verification? What are the persons responsible? And what are the documents? 100,000 from individual philanthropists in India. What are the strategic action? Map 10 individual philanthropists. What is strategic action number 2? Reach out to and meet each and every individual philanthropist and do pitching. Those are strategic pillars. Who is supposed to do it? When? So when you live here, if you don't have, develop a strategic fundraising plan. And your fundraising plan should help you achieve your strategic plan. So if you've worked in an organization, you develop strategic plan. Number 1, strategic plan, empower women. Therefore, you look for resources under the fundraising plan and you cost them, you point them to strategic plan. When you do that and you tell a donor, we have a strategic plan and a fundraising plan, it works perfectly. It should be reviewed. This fundraising plan should be reviewed. I propose you do it quarterly, every 3 months, and you circle back. Where there's a failure or you did not achieve, find out the reason why and redo. Now, elevate your networking strategy. Elevate your networking strategy. There is what is called an annual meeting work plan for United Nations and European Union. I don't know whether any of you is a member of that. At the beginning of the year in our organization, where I consult, we identify the meetings that are going to take place across the year, and we identify ones which has got value, and we try to look for resources to attend this. We realized that, for example, from Africa perspective, you may not meet African minister or any country here, but during the Africa philanthropy meeting that happened the other week in Egypt, we were able to engage them. Around 3 months ago, there was a meeting in Dubai. I don't know whether any of you are aware of the international, whichever in Dubai, or you can have a meeting in your country. Ensure that networking strategy is a donor attraction strategy. It means touching base with potential donor. Organization must map all networking events relevant to their course and attend this. I've explained that. When engaging the donor, use the result-based approach already communicated. You remember when I say, my name is so-and-so, we do this, we have achieved this, blah, blah, blah. Communicate that. After communicating it, if you do it perfectly, that donor will be interested. After that, give him or her your card. After giving the card, take his or her card. One day after meeting a potential donor, send a thank you email. Hello, dear Mr. Wycliffe. It was a pleasure meeting you during yesterday's Africa Fundraising Congress, and we look forward to collaborating together. Blah 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 blah. Just send that. It shows you are concerned. It shows you value that relationship. When you go to a networking event, you should be able to communicate what you do in under a minute. Hello, my name is Wycliffe. I work with this and this and this, and we do this. We have achieved this. We plan to do this, and these are the gaps. So we are looking for people. We are looking for potential partners to help us scale this kind of outcome in a more strategic manner and a result based. You should be able to communicate as specific as possible. Now, I talked to you about this, and I want to emphasize this. Conduct research and disseminate data, please. From here, conduct research and disseminate data. Don't tell me research is very difficult. I did not say you use quantitative if you don't have money. You can do a qualitative. You can go talk to stakeholders, talk to people in the community, do an informal FG, focus group discussions, and obtain much information. After the end of maybe 2 months, write a beautiful report. Send it to 20 donors. After 3 months, 20 donors. After 3 months, 20 donors. The donors you can reach out, present to them. You are developing what is called your nurturing relationship. Most donors work in specific programs, and the value for their work depend on data. If you work with a similar field, learn to regularly collect and disseminate data. An example is HIV trends in your community, or child right abuse, dynamics, sexual gender-based violence, agriculture, whatever you're doing. I was looking for some opportunities to help some NGO. So I went to the office and I looked for the mill guy, monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. I told him, we can do this kind of activity together. And the guy was like, Wycliffe, I've been very busy because I have a very heavy deliverables. I've been wondering, can I get somebody who's professional to help us design a project? You see, the reason why sometimes they do advertisement is not only for accountability and procurement, but they do this so as to get a credible organization or somebody to work with. Donors need people who can provide outcome. You can do this in networking events and it will attract donor attention. Now there is another strategy which is called cost sharing structure. Most donors want to see the commitment of an organization. So you can say that we need $1 million, but we'll contribute 15%. And I tell communities that how do you get this money from? You can put it in areas like transport. You can use your vehicles for transport. You can take part of security. You can subsidize labor. You can provide non-cash items. But the moment you tell the donor that we will take 20% of the project total cost, it shows commitment. This is a very wonderful tip that will move you ahead. Now, I want you to do this. Before the year begins, please ensure that your organization has the following 4 documents. Your organization has a strategic plan. It does not have to be complicated. It can be a simple 10-page document. You have what is called annual work plan. Before you begin, you must have what is called master budget. Master budget means that at the beginning of 2026, how much are you looking for, even if you're not going to achieve them? And you must have a fundraising policy. When you are writing a fundraising concept note to a donor, tell the donor that this program fits within our strategic plan, fits within our annual work plan, the budget fits within our budget, master budget, and fits within our fundraising policy. If you do that and I'm a reviewer, I know clearly that you are dealing with some organization which has got the best governance and administrative structures. These plans underpins, and I'm talking slowly to get it, they underpin the organizational capacity in programs and planning as well as operation. They also show the donor you are organized. Please don't run an organization without strategic plan, annual work plan, master budget, and fundraising policy. Now, engage professional consultant. And I know sometimes you can say that a consultant is expensive. There are consultants who can be volunteers. They will bring a lot of value to your organization. Just look for a consultant and engage them. Speak with them. Tell them your value. The challenge which I find personally with most organizations is that they don't have what is called structure. So you call me as Wycliffe to come and become your volunteer consultant. When I come, the organization has no profile. It has no digital presence. You don't even have a simple plan. You don't even have, so it means that I have to start from ground zero, and many of us don't do that. If you can structure your organization quite well, it is easy for people to come in and to help you. So many NGOs operate without knowledge-based approach. Where possible, get or hire a consultant. And if you hire a consultant where you pay, you must identify deliverables. And you must identify them, deliverables, and put what is called time frame. You must structure the outcome, and you must have means performance indicator and means of verification. Now, I want you to develop and implement digital strategy. You remember the project I was telling you of European UEFA Foundation? You cannot get it without digital strategy. Now, I will give you an example of something because I think it's important for you to give you the practical from the theory. One time we were reviewing proposals for some organizations. So we settled on 3 organizations. They were wonderful. Their proposal was great, credible. Their budgeting was activity-based and all this stuff. Now, and I've remembered budgeting, I will mention it before I forget. Now, after all of them scored, I think they scored 82%, all of them. 82, 82.5, the other one was, I think, 81. But the committee where I was sitting determined that all these 3 organizations have the capacity to implement the project. So what was the next step? The next step is what is called digital. It's called due diligence. Due diligence is where you go to the offices, you meet the staff, you check their files, you look at their capacity, all that stuff. But now these people say that what we need to do, no, we got 5. I'm sorry for that. We got 5. We wanted to narrow down to 3 to go to the offices. So we needed to do away with the 2 organizations to remain with the 3. Sorry for that. So what did we do? Online now. So we went, organization A, website, Facebook, it was Twitter then, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Can I find out what they're doing? Do they have the digital presence? Do they populate it? Do we have a result? You will be shocked. The 2 organizations that I thought were the best are the one that we excluded. They opened what is called an X account, and the first post was done in 2019. Their Facebook account was made, the first post was done in 2019. They don't have LinkedIn account. They don't have whatever Instagram account. So for me, all these organizations were good, but we need something to take them out. The first step of due diligence is the online presence. Many donors will want to find out about the organization. And the thing I'm telling you, the review was done in New York. So you can imagine we are reviewing organization in New York, but want to fund organization in Africa before we came back for due diligence. And to my shock later on, I realized that the ones we left were actually more professional than them because of due diligence. That is why digital presence is important. Ensure that you have a professional website, LinkedIn account, Facebook account, X account, and Instagram. Populate them on a regular basis, communicate your value, communicate the result base that you are doing, the outcome on a result-based approach. Now, I already communicated this, but now I'm emphasizing. I want to, under branding and communications, I want you to go and reevaluate your signature. I want you to go and look at your organization, or what we call communication tools, be it a letter, the proposal that you have written in the past, because the first impression is the last. I already made mention of this. After you finish technical proposal, send it to the graphic design department or anybody to brand it with your colors and to make it beautiful. And I can tell you, color and aesthetics still sell. They communicate values and they communicate things ensure that you branded so well, and ensure that the same brand is reflected in your website, is reflected in your documents, and is reflected in your communications. Now, I wanted to say something the other time, and I'm remembering it. It is not part of the slide here, but I want to mention it. You can note it somewhere. Use what is called activity-based budget. Activity-based budget. Donors nowadays fund activities. So what is activity-based budget? The first thing we do in a budget, for example, if you want fund from us, we used to check what is the amount of money have you allocated for M&E manager. If the M&E manager earns $3,000 and you want us to pay $3,000, that is an X. Because even without our project, an M&E is still working. So we want you to say that M&E is there, but he will spend 30% of his time in the project. So the total money is $3,000, but he will spend 30%. So the 30% of $3,000, maybe it can come to 600, whichever, or 900. That is what the donor pay. That is what is called activity-based budget. We fund activities. If it is rent, we cannot fund all the rent. You must include that. So remember that, don't forget. That is a very important tip, and many people also have good proposal, and the budget fails them. Now, anytime you're writing any proposal, irrespective of the program you want, ensure that you cross-cut it with the other sectoral issues. What are these? We must see the inclusion of gender, the inclusion of marginalized communities, the inclusion of minorities, the inclusion of people living with disabilities. We must also see how your project will respond to the climate change, because these are now what we call cross-cutting issues. So anytime you're writing a proposal, ensure that your staff has gender inclusivity, people with disability, tell us how you're going to deal with the marginalized community and the minority, how your project is going to respond to the climate change. So this one built your credibility. Now, what is the way forward? The way forward is, I want you to develop what is called personal fundraising plan, PFP, not PLOP. There was an error there. Personal fundraising plan. So as an individual, as you're listening to me, of all the areas I've talked about, where do you think you have a gap? For example, is it in branding? Yes, our organization has poor branding. So what are your action plan? What are you going to do? Do you require financial, or do you require material resources? And when will you do it? Do you need to develop fundraising strategy? What are the action steps? Do you need resources? When will you finish this? Do you need to leverage change documentation? What are the specific action plan? What are the resources you require? When will you do this? Do you need to do what is called, what we were called research and dissemination? Was this your gap as an organization? Yes. What will you do? What is the action plan? Resources required and timeline. I say this because this is the difference between people who are come to maybe a training like this to change, and the people who just have knowledge for knowledge purposes. Take this, develop your own personal fundraising plan, improve them strategically. And the timeline there is an English word we call circle back. For example, fundraising strategy. If the idea is to develop a fundraising strategy or network with 3 donors, the idea is network with 3 donors. So what are the action plan? How much do you require resources? Do you require car? Do you require finance? Do you require time? Whichever you require. It should be implemented by November 2025. Then you say circle back. Circle back means that when you get to November 2025, if the donor tells you that we don't fund until March, then you come to identify the gap, prepare the organization for possible funding from GIZ by March 2026, and then the action plan. If you do this faithfully, it will trigger something. You will see the gap and you will improve them, and it will also bring what is called value for the investment, the time you have spent here, and the value for the strategy you are building here. So identify the gaps, put them down. Alternatively, you guys know how what is called implementation plan of any strategy works, where you start on your left with the objective, then after the objective, or you start with the objective, then identify the gaps, specific activities, then specific activities, you can put action plan, then after action plan, person responsible, resources required, and the timeline. You can also change this into AWP, which is the annual work plan for you, that you can implement it, and then you now cost each and every them on the last columns. Now, also, we did not cover the area because writing grant proposal is a very complex area. It was not part of this, but I also invite you that as you are writing grant, ensure that the strategies we have covered here is strategically included in your grant proposal. Result-based management framework, communicate change in your community. Whenever you are applying for fund, let's say you are applying for fund for UNFPA and you have a research, please attach that research to build your credibility, to build the evidence, to build your capacity, and to build the knowledge that you are above others. And whatever you are dealing with is something that you understand quite well. In conclusion, donors will continue to be elusive given global complexities. And I want to explain that one of the UN agencies funding health and nutrition in Somalia, and a project we were consultant, just reduced their budget by 70%. But the advantage we had is that we had covered it with another livelihood project. So donors will continue to be elusive given the global complexity. If you are from the Horn of Africa or you're from Middle East or Asia, you know what I'm talking about. Because donors are static sometimes, but their funds go into specific areas. So if they have funded a program in Ukraine for so long, they might want to go to Palestine and reduce investment in Ukraine. They will require not just value for money, but evidence for change. Donors will require evidence for change. As an organization, therefore, you must strategize, shape your organizations, underline the values, and communicate. You must also identify and implement what is called innovative strategies to remain sustainable. Let me give you an example of a strategy we implemented when we are addressing the issue of conflict in one of the countries. Conflict mapping, we adopted what is called digital inclusivity. We just took all the elders and gave them a phone and WhatsApp and trained them on how to use the mobile phone. So they will engage and share. So that was a new thing at that time because it was innovative.
We've lost you, Wycliffe. Wycliffe, we've lost you. Right. It seems we have lost the presenter, and I know we have gone overboard in terms of time. However, we all agree that that was very informative. We didn't want it to end. I'm going to invite Doreen, who is going to come and do a pitch. Even as we wait for Wycliffe to come back, are you
Charlotte,
back?
I'm back. You are speaking and I can hear you.
All right. Sorry, I think
I
we
was
dropped
having
off something.
I was thinking you guys dropped off because my side, I don't know what might happen, but
All
I'm in the
right.
conclusion. Let me just
All right.
wind
You
it up.
do the
Sorry.
last. You can wind
Yeah,
up.
which is
No problem. No problem.
all right. So I'm requesting you who are here to develop one strategy which I need very well. I want you to go and develop what is called donor engagement strategy. Donor engagement strategy, what I mean here is that I want you to decide how are you going to meet the donor based on the knowledge that we have. And then which of the strategies we have articulated here will work. And then you see the last point there. What is required for you to get funds is evidence of change, number one. Write that down. Number two is what is called the brand. Your brand must be unique. There has to be credibility. I must fund what I know. And I must have RBMF, which is result-based management framework. Thank you so much. I overstretched your time. And sorry for that small glitch. Back, Charlotte, for any question.
Thank you, Wycliffe. Trust me, we didn't want you to finish. It's just that I know people are busy. We will allow the program to end. However, that was very informative. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, after Doreen, and then we will proceed. So stay tuned, guys. Don't leave. Doreen, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mambui. My name is Doreen Munyoki, Training Manager, Strategia Netherlands. We are happy that you have joined us today. We truly appreciate your presence and engagement. Mine is just a summary of who we are and what we offer. I'll start by introduction. Strategia Netherlands is an organization that provides training and consultancy to humanitarian and development organizations worldwide. So what do we offer? We have programs that are offered in 3 levels. We have certificate programs, we have diploma programs, and we have postgraduate diploma. All these are the courses that are the levels of the courses that we offer. And when we start with the certificate, it takes a duration of 3 months. Within these 3 months, you will take 3 modules. We have 3 assignments, and then lastly, the final exam. Then when you take the diploma, it takes a duration of 6 months. During this period, you will take 6 modules. We have 6 assignments, 1 research paper, and a final exam. The last one is the last level is the postgraduate diploma. This one takes a duration of 12 months. During this period, you will take 8 modules, 8 assignments, 1 research paper, and a final exam. Our certificate course has a fee of 500 euros. The diploma course has a fee of 1,000 euros. And then the postgraduate diploma has a fee of 1,500 euros. But the good news is that for everyone who has joined us today in this webinar, we are offering a scholarship of 20%. So that means that if you're taking a diploma with us, the original fee is 1,000. Now it will, after the 20%, you will pay 800 euros. For the postgraduate diploma, the fee is 1,500, and after the scholarship of 20%, you'll have to pay 1,200 euros. Then for the certificate, after you pay after the discount, you will have to pay 400 euros. These programs are made possible by qualified training managers that we have. We also have lecturers who hold PhDs and doctorates. Some of the courses that we offer are postgraduate diploma in monitoring and evaluation. This is offered in all the three levels, that is certificate, the diploma, and the PGD, that is postgraduate diploma. Then we have the project planning and management. We have public health. We also have supply chain management and many more. So for this information and much more, we encourage you to send us an email at info@strategianetherlands.nl, or you can visit our website, that is www.strategianetherlands.nl. We also have a YouTube channel, that is www.youtube Strategia Netherlands. Thank you very much for joining us today. We truly appreciate your presence and engagement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Doreen. That is awesome. Yes, so someone is asking, Wycliffe? All right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I will share the presentation with you, Mambui, and then you know what to do with it.
all right, it seems he's held up. He will be leaving. We could, I will definitely, we will share the presentation with you, everyone. I would have loved to take at least 2 or 3 questions, but if that is not possible, I want to invite Veronique from Run for Humanity. Please come in through and say something.
Thank you, Doreen. I hope you understand me correctly. So first, thank you all for inviting me. Have you heard the last statistic about clean and safe water from the World Health Organization? I'm not sure if you see it, but now it's 4.4 billions of people who are lacking of clean and safe water. This is completely insane. And I know firsthand that some of you had lived their struggle by firsthand, by living it. And I totally share your struggle. I feel for you. Why? Because I have been the opportunity to work in Senegal a few years ago, and I was the only woman to get access to this fancy pill that you put in the water that you drink it. And I was so ashamed that I was the only person to get access to clean and safe water, that I had to go like behind the little house to drink it, because I was telling myself it is just unfair. Why just me? Just because I'm a foreign woman from Canada? For me, it has absolutely no sense. And I know at that time that I need to do something about it. But what? So I came back to my own country. I've been lucky enough to discover ultra running, and it happened that I've been good at it. So in 2016, I ran 3,010 kilometers in 72 days. So in brief, for people who doesn't really know what is a marathon, it's 1 marathon a day. So it's 42 kilometers a day, day in, day out for 72 days. But why I'm saying that, it's not because what I did, it's why the humanity was all around me. People were stopping me in the street for offering me food, to offer me shelter. I was sleeping in so many people's house. Why? Because people want to know more of what I was doing. So we were having a space of shared humanity that no one can even imagine it's possible. So when I finished this 3,010K, what happened is I was crying, and I was crying so much, not because it was painful or something like this. It's because this wonderful journey was coming to an end. And at this time, I really knew what I was doing. So I did my passion and my mission to change the world by clean and safe water, and my strength of running and my love for humanity, and I put it all together and I create Run for Humanity. So what is Run for Humanity? What we are is we tackle the poverty cycle through water. How we do that is we wish that the communities stop to relying to outside aid, to have the next NGO come to give them money. We want that the community empower themselves by themselves. So how we do that? We elaborate a program of 13 pillars. So I will get through with you quickly. So the first step is we believe that all the communities can empower and that they have everything within. So we are there just to empower them. So the first step, we bring money through microloan and grants. Why is that? It's because we want to make sure that the community are starting their journey by taking care of themselves. And with that, we obviously we bring them a financial literacy education, because when you give them a loan, it's not about, okay, see you in 2 years, bye-bye. We want to make sure that they take their financial education by themselves, and they can at this point take care of a few dollars in their pocket to make sure that their family will live greatly. And second step is obviously water. When you don't have water, you cannot go anywhere. So we make sure to provide water and also agriculture, because we want to make sure that the community can also feed themselves. And from there, we put a WASH program, and the WASH program that we provide, it's a fun program. It's the community themselves who co-creating with us. So we make sure to provide arts, to provide joy. So when the community take care of themselves and do this program for themselves, what is happening? It's happening that the behavior change. So the community start changing. And after that, when we do agro-business, we make sure to train agro-business, but not just agro-business in the whole. We make sure that women are trained. We make sure that the community in the entire community get trained. And how we do that, we make sure that everyone also the basics. So if the community doesn't know how to write or how to calculate, we make sure to also introduce this in the program. So, and at the end of this business part, everyone are able to create and to launch a business at the scale that they wish to. And from there, we want to make sure that the water and the agriculture equipment are really take care of. So we create a community funds. Why is that? Is we want to make sure that all the water system is there to last. So if it's need to repair or something, the community fund is there for the communities. And after all this, what happened is at the beginning is we are bringing to the communities a running health and walking program. So how can we do that? Is at the really beginning of the program, I start to run with the community itself and to walk. So we co-create a sports program. So to make sure that the community is also taking care of their health, and on the clinics, on the community, make sure that the community itself are in health. So when the first part of the program is done, I'm coming running with the community. So all together, we run to celebrate the water, we run to celebrate the business that we create, and we run all together to celebrate humanity. And how this celebration is doing, it's the community itself is designing a celebration to celebrate all the hard work we are doing, but also all the humanity that we share. So it's an opportunity for us to celebrate humanity, celebrate water, but also celebrate all the people who help us to fund this project and to make this project possible. And for us, the big goal is after 3 years, all the communities are self-supported. So how we do that, we work with really, really strong KPI. So we come back in the community to see where they are. So in the part where they are going good, we empower them, we continue the good work. And the part of the program which needs a bit more of work, we are there for them. So we make sure that they are empowered and they can thrive and they can go higher. So the goal of Run for Humanity is to really stop the poverty cycle, to really tackle everything by this holistic program. So now where we are ready to go. We have a program already ready in Nigeria, in Tanzania, in Uganda, and in Senegal. So the community is there, are waiting for us. They wish to implement this program in their community, but we need some funding, we need some investment, and we need help in a general way. And so this is the pilot program, but stay here because the big goal is that I will be the first female to run the entire length of Africa from Alexandria to Cape Town. That means 14,000 kilometers of running, but this is not the goal. The goal is to replicate this program in 100 communities by country, on 19 countries. So the preliminary numbers of impact is 30 millions of people will be impacted, will be transformed by this project. And now, even if we start, we are ready to go. The wave is already starting. People are ready to invest. So we have a lot of investors, mainly in Europe, who are ready to go. And why I'm here, it's to share what we are creating, and also to ask and to see, because this project will empowering so many people. If you know some people who will be happy to join with us with this project. Now we are legalizing ourselves in Netherlands, so it's a massive big step forward. And for that, I want to thank you, John, to help us make it this project come true. So we are about to legalize in Netherlands. So if you see people who wants to get involved, who have some investment and believe in this project, please come and join me. Why? Because this project will impact so many people. Because do you know what? Together we can make it happen. Together we can change the world. Together, 1 kilometer at a time, we can run for humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Veronica, for that presentation. So we are going to take at least 3 questions for the fundraising presentation, and then 2 questions for Run for Humanity, and then we are going to close. So please allow me take a little bit, at least 10 minutes of your time. I know we have exceeded our time. So 10 minutes and we'll be done. So 3 questions for fundraising tips. I'll take the first 3. So if you're ready, please unmute. Wycliffe is around and he will be able to help us. First person, just unmute and go ahead. We had people who had questions. I will be taking the first 3. So if you're there, kindly unmute and just go ahead and ask your question. Or rather, you can raise your hand. Yes, let me see. Anyone? Okay, if there's no question, any question for Run for Humanity? Okay, Thank you so much. I know,
Hello.
I know we, yes,
Hello, Charlotte. One
yes,
quick
please.
question. I think
All right.
I don't remember the lady who was talking about the offer. How long is it valid for? I think the 20%
I
discount.
think, okay. So the
Then-
20% discount Doreen was talking about the courses was for all attendees in here, those who attended
But-
today's webinar.
But how long does it, the validity period?
Okay, Doreen, go ahead.
Okay, the 20% discount is valid for this month till the
Okay,
end of the month.
Thank you. And then
Yeah.
to Veronique, my question is, do they also intend to take on partnerships in Somalia?
What kind of partnerships, Elijah?
Because she was talking about anybody who would want to partner with them in the run for, is it called run for? I'm trying to check.
Okay, Run for Humanity, Veronique.
Run for Humanity.
Yeah. If you want to develop a project in Somalia, can you please connect with me, because we are open to really develop any project in any communities. So reach me out and let's discuss on how can we make it happen. I will be delighted if we can do that. Carry on.
Your contacts are on the website. Should I contact you through the website or?
Yes, and my son already put all the contact in the group chat just right now. And on the website, you can runforhumanity.org, Run for Humanity on LinkedIn, Facebook, and yes, and approximately all the platforms. So you can reach me, and I will send you a message really quickly.
All
Great,
right,
thank you
so much. Izora, quickly. Izora Rumbiza.
Yes, thank you very much. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay. My name is Rumbiza Tizora. I'm a research and evaluation specialist with UNICEF Malawi, and I'm also part of a Rotary Club of Lilongwe, which is called Lotus, and it's a women's Rotary Club. So I'm really interested in what you have said or your presentation, Veronique. But my question to you is, when you are here in the third world, people run and walk in the rural areas out of necessity and really not out of exercise or out of any other initiative. So how do you find that having your organization working in the third world where they do need the water, but they also are generally quite fit, those in the rural areas compared to those in the cities?
This is a really, really good point. So I'm not sure if the part of our program of the running and walking, it's more about sports and community. It's not about the sports for competition or anything. It's really to create the bonds with the community. So I totally get it that the people are really fit, are really doing this. So our sports and health program, it's mainly to make sure that the clinics on the ground are involved. So we make sure that their health is on check, and the running is walking. It's more like, let's say, a celebration that we all this holistic program together and to celebrate what we create. So everyone run or walk the way they want. Why? Because it's just celebrating the program, which they bring them out of the poverty cycle. So this is more of a community sports and joy program. Does that answer to your question?
Yes, it does. Lastly, I think for us, we also promote catching them young. So when you do these celebrations, you do this run for walks, what is the proportion of children that you also target to participate or that actually participate in your activities. Because once they start young, they tend to develop these habits, which do not only help them in their health, but also help them in their school, in their discipline, in creating networks and friendships, etc. So what is that proportion of children that you also capture?
Thanks for the question, and it's funny because I didn't mention, but for me it's kind of almost a given. We make sure that schools are involved. We make sure that it's for everyone. So I totally agree that that the school will be involved. And as I mentioned, the program, it's not me who said, okay, this is the program. We work with people on the ground. So every program it's designed with the community. So it's the community itself who said, okay, for us, the big problem is it's more to create more small business. So we are doing that. So we design kind of the overall of the program, but we grow with the community. So it's the community is our driver, not the other way around, if that makes sense.
Thank you. I believe all the hands that were raised are no longer there. So I believe all the questions have been answered. So thank you everyone for joining us. Is someone trying to talk? All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Felix, are you trying to say something, or is it Rinka? All right, then. All right, go ahead. The last question.
No, it's not a last question. It's just a comment that I wanted to appreciate Westcliff for information. I believe today, if we had been getting this kind of information earlier, our organization will be better in a better place. I only want to appreciate him for that message. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So thank you everyone for joining. We have come to the end of the webinar this morning, or afternoon or evening, depending on where you're joining us from. And I will invite Wycliffe just to give us a parting shot, even as we wind up.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And it is a very interesting discussion, and my only hope is that you guys will take the knowledge that you acquired to change the communities. I've been in the humanitarian field for over 15 years, and it is the jungle. We used to call it the jungle, and because you are addressing the gaps that are very important. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much also for coming up. Thank you for the opportunity that we have had to train you, and Strategy Netherlands is very committed always to improving the capacity of improving the capacity of the trainees so that they can respond positively in improving the welfare of the community. So thank you for joining us. We hopefully look forward to see you in other programs and other training, so that we can also actualize the outcomes that we have delivered. So looking forward. Thank you so much, Charlie. We're looking forward to see the participant in the next training. Bye for now.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Wycliffe. Thank you so much, Veronique, for sharing with us. And everyone, we have come to the end of the webinar. Have a lovely time. Let's keep engaging. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Interested in building a career in the development and humanitarian sector? Then Strategia Netherlands is the best option for you. We offer training solutions to the United Nations, governments, NGOs, and other development organizations worldwide. Make your online application now for Diploma in Monitoring and Evaluation, Diploma in Grants Management, Diploma in Conflict Management, Diploma in Disaster Management, Diploma in Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, and many more. The cost for diploma courses is 800 euros, while postgraduate courses cost 1,200 euros. Visit www.strategianetherlands.nl for more information. Are you interested in building a career in the development and humanitarian sector? Then Strategia Netherlands is the best option for you. We offer training solutions to the United Nations, governments, NGOs, and other development organizations worldwide. Make your online application now for Diploma in Monitoring and Evaluation, Diploma in Grants Management, Diploma in Conflict Management, Diploma in Disaster Management, Diploma in Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, and many more. The cost for diploma courses is 800 euros, while postgraduate courses cost 1,200 euros. Visit www.strategianetherlands.nl for more information.